Rear not a lot, mostly wooded. Big rafter. Whoa, Bessie. Two more rows down.
Excellent.
Sådär.
Ja. Gonna be heavy. You give me a board or slat.
I would not.
Let's go. Go. Ja.
Sì.
Banana.
I got stuff here.
Tohle še ni treba, ne?
But it doesn't really have to work that way.
Really?
Cut it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about it. Nice mix. Look. No. Yeah.
fräs.
We put the attachment back on here because
Shit. Nej.
Tule. Almost said brika. Ah, there we go. Kolla. The day he lost his hand. Yes.
Quoi de...
Good. 42 like that.
Zatlale. That's it. There we go.
Measure once, cut 50 times. That's my motto. Archaeologist that's also a brickie. I need to put on more than it needs.
That's satisfying.